much better, but it didn't go according to plan for Carlos Cuadrat, and he'd be hoping to turn things around this time in the first, pre-season, or should I say, the season opening tournament of the season.
The best possible chance to do it is in competitive football, and that's what
you play is where you can really tell your coach what you're made up of and sort of then leave an imprint on him for the rest of the season, Andy.
very much so, and the key to that is that the games come thick and fast, especially at this stage of the competition. And what they're able to do is put down a marker to have that shirt to say, look, I want to be that starting midfielder, I want to be that starting centre-back. On paper, there might be bigger names waiting to take the shirt, but there might be just one or two players who can surprise you and put a real stamp and a real authority on the game, and that's what this opportunity that they've got this evening do.
There are your officials. Referee Aditya Purakasta is your main official for today. Assistant referee number 1, Pradita Kumar Nayak. Assistant referee number 2, Springson Singh, Wahing Bam. And our fourth official for the evening is Ashish Tiwari. Match commissioner is Thawan Singh. And referee is Mr. Murthy G. The teams are lining up, getting that photograph just before we get things going at the Yuva Bharati Krirangan. 133rd edition of the Durand Cup for a team that's reached times they've reached the finals of the Durand Cup in its history. They won the cup 60. And in 2022, Imami East Bengal FC lost to the 23. They made it to the final, so they're hoping 24 they'll go one better. Raul Crespo is such an integral part of that midfield. He is that solidifier, that solidity in the middle. And now with the arrival of Jackson Singh, he'll also be given the license to roam up as much as possible, because you know the way Jackson sits behind, just in front of the stopper backs. So Saul Crespo, in all earnestness, will be given that responsibility and that license to move up as much as possible. Captain of Indian Air Force New Delhi is what an opportunity it is for that team. The team from the services, they play their trade in and he'd be hoping to turn things around this time in the first, pre-season, or should I say, the season opening tournament of the season.
The best possible chance to do it is in competition.
The evening is the Durand Cup for a team. Imami East Bengal part of that midfield as much as possible. Season.
The best possible chance to do it is
He's come in this time for Imami East Bengal FC. Up front with them will also be jersey number 14, David Lalan Sangha. Last time around for Mohammedan Sporting had such a wonderful tournament, and so he's now made the switch to the red and golds. It's a 4-3-3, but it could change as soon as the game goes on. And keep an eye out on Jackson Singh, playing his first official game as Imami East Bengal FC. You've got players like Norman Singh, the 24 Maldas, jersey number 25, and of course you've got Shubham captain, Mr. Haldan, and Sishan. It's one of those players to watch out for. as will be Clayton Sims, not starting today as well. You keep an eye out for both those boys. Because Emami East Bengal FC is in a spot of bother. It's the 133rd edition of the Indian Oil Durand Cup. Attacking on your screens from left to right is Emami East Bengal FC, runners-up last time around. The red and gold 16-time winners are taking on Indian Air Force football team from New Delhi. They're hoping to go one better, and there's no better way to start than to put the pressure on the team from the word go. Now Mahesh Singh is going to be Sauvik Chakravarti has been around Indian football for so long, but this boy has grown leaps and bounds since joining Emami East Bengal. He's become an integral part of the national team as well. Carlos Quadrat in his second season with the red and golds. They say that first season is a bit of a whirlwind when you come in. It's a new atmosphere, it's a new place. You're sort of still assessing what is right, almost the right way of moving around. Second season is when you settle down, and can you really leave your imprint as the way you want this team to play. Here it is, Emami is going to go straight away. It's off the post. They're asking for a corner, but the referee says nothing doing. It's a goal kick. Came inches close to taking the lead within the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, what a great delivery. It's all about the quality of the ball that comes in. Really difficult ball to defend. Centre-backs heading going towards their own goal and just not able to quite get the finish on it. Brave goalkeeping, last-ditch attempt, and obviously Emami East Bengal trying to claim the corner as well.
Yeah, came in extremely close, David Lalan Sanga. He's one of those players, you'll always see him in and around the box. You'll see him troubling players. His movement extremely good. Priyadarshan, head coach of Indian Air Force football team. Do keep an eye out on David Lal Sanga. He's one of those boys who sort of knows his way around the box. He's got that instinct of a striker, and whenever he's got that delivery coming in, you can make sure that he's going to be attacking that ball and making sure he can get that opening goal for the red and golds. Came inches close within the first 2 minutes. From the Indian Air Force football team, you'd want them to slow things down as much as possible. Early pressure coming in and is expected from the big boys. Slow things down, get some control in the game, get yourself in the game. Get rid of those nerves, those early few nerves that come in those early few minutes. Settle down and then have belief over yourself. Have belief in your abilities that you too can move around at the highest level. Here's Madhi Talal, straight away, wily, nimble footwork from Madhi Talal. He impressed one and all in his first season in the Indian Super League, and that's one of the reasons they've gone for him. And he seems like a tricky customer, loves operating in those tight spaces purely because of that technical ability that he has.
It's one of the matchups I'm really looking forward to seeing, to be able to see how he's going to deal with it. Clearly, Dinesh straight away got really tight to him, but he was able to wriggle away and find a way through.
Very clearly, you can see Madhi Talal is going to be involved in every attack that Emami East Bengal FC are going to be making. He's probably operating in that space in between the lines. Has probably been given a free role by Carlos Quadrat. And when you've got someone with that technical ability, you'd want to tell him, look, I don't want to restrict you to one side of the game. Move around wherever you want to be. Feel the game as much as you want to. Get as many touches as you want to be. Because the more touches you get for us, the better the chance for us to go and get their goal, opening goal in this game. It's a team that has rich history in this tournament. It's a team that has rich history in Indian football. And this is a tournament that has huge history. One of the oldest tournaments in the world. One of the oldest tournaments in Asia as well. The Durand Cup has given so much to Indian football. Not just from players, but has given teams like Indian Air Force football team a chance to come and shine at the big stage. A chance to come and show what you're made up of. Throw in for Indian Air Force. Looks like they're going to go long. Much like you see with a lot of teams trying to make use of that. And they do go in long. Goalkeeper there, defender there as well. Chanunga heads it out. Madhi Talal puts in another header, but it's backed with Indian Air Force football team. Nice looking ground, Andy. You can see the ball is moving well, so the players themselves are going to enjoy moving that ball on the ground.
I think both teams should try and get the ball down and play. For sure, we know that it's going to be Imam East Bengal who's maybe going to be the one who's going to dictate and be the ones who have most possession of the ball. But it looks like a slick, zippy passing surface, and that can only help the style of football that I'm sure both coaches would like to implement today.
But there you go, Mahdi Talal again operating the lines. Get that first. Okay, he's asking for the ball. David is there. Well saved by the Indian Air Force football team keeper. David Lalan Sangha coming inches close yet again to get that opening goal for Imam East Bengal FC. They're not done as yet. They're moving now from the left flank. They find David again. Here's Mahdi. He's going to be seeing so much of the ball. Already you can see the influence that Mahdi Talal is going to bring to this team. And you can see why Carlos Quadrat has gone for him to get him in this team. You've got someone like that, Andy, who can operate in tight spaces. You know, he's your man who can unlock so many defenses.
Yeah, how about the back defense line right out of the
വേറെ ലിങ്ക് ഉണ്ടോടാ അതോ ഇതേ ഉള്ളൂ?
just allow them to play.
At the back. And in this day and age, modern day football, it's not your central midfielders that are moving the ball around from the right. It's your stopper backs like Jazi and Chununga.
The modern trend now, centre backs, looking at recruiting centre backs, the first thing they're asking is what they like with the feet. I think one of the days where people used to say, well, what are they like defensively? Can they head it? Can they kick it? Are they committed?
Here you go. Here you go. Another attack from Eastern. They're looking good. They're looking fluid. Coming East Bengal to Whistle Crespo this time. Making that run on the back.
I think as we've seen over the places, how important these things are going to be, especially of a team who are there full time with each other today now, practicing on the training ground. These are opportunities to see if they can catch the Indian Air Force team a little bit cold with some clever movement, clever disguise running, maybe the addition of a couple of blocks in the time free some of the big hitters to try and get that control.
Chakravarti. He's been given the responsibility of taking that corner. Goes short. They've planned for it. Mahdi Talal lays it down to the center. Back to Shobik Chakravarti. Disappointing cross coming in. Cleared by Indian Air Force. Straight away into the first 9 minutes of the game, and you sort of get a sense of how this game is going to play out over the 90 minutes. Imam East Bengal are going to be throwing numbers in Indian Air Force box. Again, Mahdi Talal found in the middle between the lines. They've got to do something about that Indian Air Force. Whenever he's come out there, he's found himself in no man's land. He's easily got the ball. He's had the turn to, the time to make that first and two touches, because if you let a player do that, you can open up defenses at will. Foul given against Chununga. Seems a little surprised with that decision by the referee. They look settled so far. Carlos Quadrat will be happy the way the red and gold have started. First 10 minutes of this game. Lost the final to their arch rivals last season around in 2022. Mohan Bagan Super Giant. It was a good tournament for Imam East Bengal, who were large parts of that tournament looked like the favourite to go on and win it, only to lose it in the final. Progress nonetheless, because in 2022 they lost in the group stages. Lobbed ahead, trying to find that player in the pool. Ashok Kumar with the throw-in, captain of Indian Air Force. Right, finding a strike up front, goes for a cross to the corner. I guess from Carlos Quadrat's It's all about getting that first trophy. How you get it, where you get it, doesn't matter. Get that silverware and sort of get the story going for you and
Yeah, for the wider public, he'll want everybody to know that he's got a plan, he's got a way of recruiting players, he's got an identity and a style of play that's suited to the club. What's clear here straight away, you can see the style. They've got that 4-3-3 traditional formation. So the Catalonian coach is a big fan of that style of football. You see always plays with that back four, one holding midfielder in Suvic. Chakrabarti was just able to dictate play, and then a lot of attacking players, a lot of forward options from two midfielders who are able to get high onto the pitch. And then obviously he's got the creativity and the freedom in the wide areas to play, especially Talalet we've seen rolling inside and picking up them little pockets of space. He'll be pleased with what we've seen so far. Maybe a little more careful in the final third to create something, but in terms of the out of possession work, it's a strong start for them.
There they are on their left flank. No surprises, Mahesh Naram is on the ball. Jackson Singh makes his way up. He's got space to cross. He's got two players to deal with as well. Eventually, falls into the hands of the Indian Air Force goalkeeper. Sanketh that time for the Indian Air Force team. Playing a simple 4-4-2. You don't see too much of that nowadays in modern day football. You see a lot of 4-2-3-1. You see a lot of 4-3-1-2 as well. Not too many 4-4-2s. But from a coach's point of view, Andy, I'm guessing it's mobility. It's all about changing your formations. It's all about changing the way you're playing in-game and how you manage that in-game.
Yeah, I think the problem that they're going to face is just the technical quality and the proficiency of the opponent. You've just seen it again there, just able to play through them lines. If you're just playing three specific lines of a four and a two, it often means that there's gaps and there's pockets between them lines to exploit. And when you've got some of the league's best players who can do that, you can just see a lovely little give and go combination there, and it took four players of the opposition straight out. So I think the advantage it has is that hopefully the couple of strikers in Sommer and Surab at the top of the pitch will be have close to each other and have something to work off, but it'll leave them exposed in the middle of the pitch.
Here come Imami East Bengal again. Now there you go, David, combining there with another player. Mahesh Naram has been brought down. Referee's right there, says nothing doing. Play goes on. Imami East Bengal come threatening yet again. Slowly but surely, they found their way to the goal on enough occasions, and again, you've seen this happening. Taufik Chakrabarti this time finds space in between the midfield and defense of Indian Air Force. Back with Mahdi Talal. Clearly, you can see how comfortable he is on the ball. Loves keeping that ball as much as possible. Space in for the cross. The cross is put in. No one attacking it. A disappointing cross as well. Positives nonetheless from Imami East Bengal, who keep on charging, keep on pushing forward for that first goal of this game. Space on the left. Back to Mahesh Naram Singh. Does well to keep it in. He's got a defender to get company. Does well to take it away from him. As captain Ashok Kumar of the Indian Air Force. Goes long again. Aimlessly puts it in front. All the hard work they've done at the back goes completely to waste. Need to get a bit more composure. A bit more belief on the ball. Believe in themselves that you can hold the ball, you can keep touches, you can pass it around. Move Imami East Bengal FC away from their positions. Because right now, it seems like, Andy, it's pretty easy and simple for Imami East Bengal in that defense and what they have to do.
Yeah, they've got some really good rotations, Imami East Bengal at the moment, whether it's Jackson Singh just been able to get on it in a deep position like this on a quarterback role and dictate play, or whether it's Suvic Chakrabarti able to get on it as well. But the challenge is going to come with these fullbacks, getting both fullbacks to get nice and high as well and see if they can join in the attacks, because they are committing bodies forward, but they've got much control of the ball in terms of being able to build up play. And you can see Carlos Carrat just on that side, just giving them some instructions that he's happy for them to keep it, happy for them to play around and back and keep momentum.
Here's David Lalansanga. Has he done enough? He hasn't done enough. Well done by the defender on that occasion. But he looks like a good customer. He looks like a tricky customer, does David Lalansanga. Don't see too many Indian strikers, but the way he operates in the box and the kind of confidence on the box. Now, there's a lot of space on that right flank for Indian Air Force. What can they do with that? Apologies for that lag. Back with Emami East Bengal. Here's Mahdi Talal. Clearly you can see he's fit in so naturally to his new team. Impressed one and all in the Indian Super League last season. I'm guessing as the games get tougher, opposing coaches, opposing teams are going to be placing man-to-man marking on Mahdi Talal, because you see the way he's operating. Now he's so integral in the way Emami East Bengal move and attack moving forward. They've got Diamantakos on the bench. They've got Clayton Silva on the bench as well. So they've got quite a lot of firepower as far as scoring goals is concerned. And Mahdi Talal just adds to that mix. Long-range effort, solid effort. Off target though from Saul Crespo. Positive signs yet again. And a lot of that is happening down that left wing.
In there, the key areas, we mentioned it at the start of the game, the matchups in the wide areas and wide flanks. If you notice now with the freedom that he's got just to be able to roll in Talal as well on the opposite side here, you can see on the other side of the pitch just rolling in and using his right and blazing it wide. Saul Crespo obviously leading the line there, just not able to get the shot on target, but I think if he is going to take his full back inside, Talal is going to take the left back in Akib nice and narrow, then he's got an opportunity for Rakib as the full back just to get overlapping him, see if he can then be that spare man to deliver some balls in.
Rakib has made space down that left flank. That's one of the default modes of any fullback. Does well to get away from his player there, has space to put the cross in. It's a disappointing cross because there were 3 East Bengal players waiting for that cross in the box. Zoltan Puya that time round. Left full back showed good composure to get away from his marker, but a disappointing cross. And so Indian Air Force live another day. They breathe another day. 90 minutes in. Now what can Indian Air Force do? This is unfamiliar territory. Does well to get away from his marker. Puts that cross in, and there you go! Who would have thought that was going to happen? Who expected that to happen? Within the first 20 minutes, it was all Emami East Bengal FC. But would you believe it? Would you believe it? Saurav Sadhukan, with probably only the second attack of the game, has given Indian Air Force football team the lead in this game.
Incredible. We mentioned about that 4-4-2 setup, what it might mean with traditional wingers putting balls into the box, and the first thing you saw then, as soon as that ball that was played in, delightful ball in, they've got the bodies in, they've committed the 2 strikers into the box. What, just not quite picked up defensively, all over the place in the box, not marking tight enough, not being able to get the first contact. And what a brilliant finish. This has really set the cat amongst the pigeons here to go a goal down. You can just see lovely little combination play, just teases it up with the beats him man 1v1, stands that ball up and just not able to get across and defend it, and a lovely redirected goal.
Now the cross came in from Saurav Sadhukan. Now from Samananda Singh. What a way to start things off for Indian Air Force football team. They've had their backs against the wall for much of this 20 minutes versus Emami East Bengal. And on only their second attack of the game, Somananda Singh has given the lead to Indian Air Force football team, but more importantly, he's given quite a hold to Emami East Bengal and also that capacity crowd that's come to watch them at the Vivekananda Yuva Bharati Kridangan. Just makes that contest a lot more fascinating, a lot more interesting now. You've been talking about it now. You want the fullbacks to go up knowing that not too much as far as Indian Air Force in attack, so you want to push players in front. Now you're down by a goal. What more do you see now? Do you see that intent coming in from Emami East Bengal? There's Mahesh Nauram Singh. Zoltan Putia gives him space. Here's Chununga. All players in Indian Air Force football team's box. Here's Jackson Singh, the new man in from Kerala Blasters Football Club. Mainstay for Indian football in the centre of the pitch. Disappointing cross, but was lucky to get a corner. And so yet another opportunity for the red and gold.
Yeah, big challenge now for the Air Force team is not to sit back and not to be negative in terms of sitting on that lead now and protecting it, because they'll drop that 5 to 7 metres deeper. They'll become a little more passive in when they're pressing the ball. They've got to try and get some momentum, try and get another counter-attack, try to get the wingers more involved in the game again. But obviously all to do for Imami East Bengal now, and another opportunity to do it with a well-worked set piece.
Nauram Singh. So far the crossing hasn't been that great. Puts the ball in. Numbers in the box, but no one able to get a connection on it. Falls to Saul Crespo. Back to lays it up front to Saul Crespo again. Does well. He's got two players for company. Gets the throw in. The referee says throw in for Indian Air Force football team, who much against the run of the play have taken the lead versus the Imami East Bengal Football Club. And it's scenes like these that you really look forward to in a David versus Goliath battle. You've got Diamantakos on the bench. You've got Clayton Silva on the bench. I don't think the coach will be in any hurry to bring them in right now because you're in the first 20 minutes of the first half. But if the scoreline persists like this in the second half, you can be pretty sure one of those two players will be warming up and being sent out on the pitch. Diamantakos in particular had a great season with Kerala Blasters. When came to Kolkata, was given a rousing welcome by the Imami East Bengal fans, who thronged to the airport in large numbers to make sure how much they love and the kind of expectation they have from the main man. Greek striker playing for Kerala Blasters last season. Long ball put in. Hijazi does well to deal with it. And so East Bengal come again. Rakip plays it back to Shunanga. Hijazi now on the ball. Has acres of space in front of him. Back to Shunanga now. Jackson Singh, as expected, playing in front of those two stopper backs. The insurance. Here's Saul Crespo. Good move that was developing between him and Matul. It's nice to see Saul Crespo in a much more advanced role this time. One of the reasons they bought Jackson Singh, giving him the license to move in front, and you can see the kind of impact he could have in his team. Goes diagonal, does Mijazi, does well. Finds Rakip. Rakip back to Madi. Two players in front of him. Finds Saul Crespo. It's a good combination between the two players. Well read by Indian Air Force. Thwart yet another Imami East Bengal attack. Mohammad Aqib lay in front for his striker. Haven't been able to hold on to the ball at all. But I'm guessing Indian Air Force football team knows that, Andy. It's going to be that kind of a thing. You're not going to see the ball. And when they do see it, it really depends on how well they can keep.
Very much so. Possession stats are suggesting they've actually had twice as much possession.
Lays it out wide. Sultan Puya back on the ball. Giving a lot of space up front and left full back. Back to Sultan Puya. There's Madhi Bilal. He's looked busy.
Yeah, just saying there, up 65% possession now, Imami East Bengal. It's obviously what you do with it that counts. Have created a couple of early opportunities, but they're getting frustrated by well-organised team when they don't have the ball. And they've got them two strikers and outlook just to try and give them a bit of release, just to try and hold on to it and get some fouls or draw some opportunities or mistakes from the opposition.
They've got space on the side now. Does well, does Mohammad Rakib. Been a part of the age group teams for the national team, was part of the World Cup team as well. Been around with this team now. Hasn't had the best of seasons for Bengal. They haven't tasted silverware for a while now. For a team of that kind of tradition, for a team of that kind of legend in their name, trophy-less seasons don't go on long. That's what Carlos Cuadrat is hoping to achieve this time. He had 90 minutes of winning his first trophy in last edition's tournament. Back to Jackson Singh. On to Rakib. Finds Madi. Brilliant first touch. Second touch. Shows skill. That occasion now is David Lalansanga. See from Imami East Bengal's point of view that the new recruits, Andy, seem to be gelling pretty well in what is their first official game of the season.
Yeah, I think ultimately the final third is where the details of the game are going to be drawn. They need them little combinations, being able to get both the fullbacks. You've just seen in recent times Rakib just able to join a little bit higher. And them combinations are going to be key, but they seem to be working the patterns well, just not able to have that killer instinct. But I think the credit has to go to the Indian Air Force in terms of how they're set up. They are organised. They're very predictable in what they do, but what they're doing is they're executing it really well. Just got to stay high and try and force themselves every time the ball goes backwards to try and get 5 or 10 yards higher than they are doing and not to drop too deep into the box.
Zishan Ansari has picked up a knock. It's been that sort of a game, and they've got to put their bodies on the line if they are to, of course, protect that lead. Madi Talal and Zishan involved in that mix-up. It's going to be a crucial member for Imami East Bengal this season. It's also a great platform, Andy, for these young players of Indian Air Force to be noticed by some of the big teams, to be noticed by scouts, and hopefully find themselves a contract with one of the big clubs in the season.
They've acquitted themselves really well. I think technically where they might fall short in certain areas, they've certainly developed a team understanding, and individually in centre midfield, they knew it was going to be a really big battle and difficult for them. But I think Dinesh in there, they've held themselves really well at the start. Obviously difficult for both the fullbacks against the quality of wingers they're up against. But the coaching staff can have no complaints. Priya on the sideline there, giving some instructions out, and have no complaints to how they've committed to it. They said before that they had a game plan, they've done the homework, and they've executed it really well so far.
Another opportunity coming in for Imami East Bengal. This time around, Saul Crespo, they're coming close. They're being applauded by Quadrat. They're putting on the pressure. Still down by 1 goal in this first game. Their first game of the 133rd edition of the Durand Cup. Already won the Super Cup last season as Qualis Quadrat came within 90 minutes of winning the Durand Cup as well. Hoping to change things around. Naram Mahesh, how often have we seen him doing that? He's got that confidence in him. Puts in the box. Madi Talal puts in the cross. Another long ball put in by the Indian Air Force goalkeeper, Subhajit Basu that time. You'd have to say, for all the action that you're wanting from the wings, Andy, crossing has left a lot to be desired from the red and gold.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed with the quality of the crosses that have come in, especially from the 3 corners that they've had so far. I think the difference there is that Indian Air Force team bringing every player back to defend every set piece, so wave after wave of attacks, especially if they're able to clear the first ball.
Here's another attack. Numbers as usual by Indian Air Force at the back. That's what's in their hands. They're going to try outrun Imami East Bengal FC. They're going to make sure they make it as difficult as possible, not give them as much space, open space. They could be ahead of them in technical ability, in terms of composure, in terms of big match experience. But if you can give as much heart as possible, you're going to make it very difficult for the likes of Shobik Chakravarti and company from Imami East Bengal. Yep, that's what they've got to do. Keep trying to disrupt play as much as possible, Andy.
Yeah, and the set pieces, as we say, are key. I think there could be an opportunity for the Indian Air Force team to maybe leave a striker up, leave somebody higher up the pitch to force Imami East Bengal to then either go man for man, 1v1 at the back, or 2v1, and try and take a couple of their attacking threats away from the box. But every effort is to obviously defend their goal first, and that means bringing all 10 players back and having 11 in the box to defend.
As well defined. Crespo it was. Then Madi Talal. You could see they were trying to work over there. Put the ball back inside. You worked on it on the training ground. The execution so far has left a lot to be desired in that final third for the red and gold. Sothan Bhuya. Gets the ball back. Here's Mahesh Naram Singh. Yet another corner for Imami East Bengal. Carlos Quadrat will be hoping, and all the fans that are there in the stadium and so many that are watching our broadcast right now, that the delivery is a lot better than what we've seen in these first 30 minutes.
See a perfect example there. Bringing every player back just means that they can load the box, get some good movement and get with the quality delivery, hope to threaten the Indian Air Force goal. I'd like to see them try and leave a couple of players a lot higher up, at least one.
Again, same old story, same old, same old. Ball hasn't been cleared. Long shot taken, aimlessly taken. Yet another opportunity wasted for Imami East Bengal.
Yeah, the challenge now for them, they're starting to tire around these half an hour into the game. And clearly maybe the superior fitness of Imami East Bengal is kind of showing now. You can see every time it's going out to play, the Indian Air Force team just struggling to get back in, get the breathers. They've got to make sure they ride this bit of a storm now. That might come for the next 15 minutes leading up to half-time.
33rd minute of this game. Much to the surprise of everyone who's present in the stadium and the people watching this broadcast, Indian Air Force football team have taken the lead. Another cross put in this time. Just the two players inside for Indian Air Force football team. Number 15 that time, Saurav Sadhukan. He's looked like a busy player when they're going in front. Seems good on the box. Put that cross in for that opening goal for his team. Caught by Somananda Singh. Favored as far as the direction was concerned, and was always going to be second best. That far from the goal. Now you can see it again. Fullbacks are trying to bomb forward, so he goes forward now. Tries to find David Lalan Sangha. Had a great season with Mohammedan Sporting. You saw the way he played in that last edition of the Durand Cup. Looked like a confident player, was the top scorer for Mohammedan Sporting. And when you start playing like that in Kolkata football, when you start playing like that in these national level tournaments, there's no surprises that the big teams come calling. Big teams come calling because goal scorers are not by the many, are not by the dozen in Indian football. So when you want a genuine goal scorer, you want to get him in your team and blood him in. Because an Indian goal scorer is something the national team is also crying out for. The leading goal scorer for the Red and Golds in their history is, of course, a name everyone is known in Indian football, Bhaichung Budhia, who scored 148 goals for the Red and Golds. But yet again, here's, of course, Saurav Sadhukan finds space. Again down that right flank. He's got company on the side, puts the cross in, puts a good cross in. Danger still not cleared. And now, finally, into the calming hands of Prabhu and Gill. They're coming close, is Indian Air Force.
Yeah, fullbacks are finding it difficult. They're getting beaten, especially in wide areas. Mahesh not recovering on occasion to try and support the fullback, and then the deliveries are coming in thick and fast. One thing I've been impressed with from the Indian Air Force team is they have won a lot of first contacts in the box. I think that will be something Carl Gujarat is going to be concerned about, the number of first contacts they win. Obviously, they've had the goal, they've had a couple of headers wide, but it's the amount of contacts they're able to win in the box, and surely it'll be a frustration that the centre-backs aren't able to win that first contact, that first duel, and at least get them back on a footing.
Here's a goal now. Crespo goes for a long-range shot with Mahdi Dalal. Yet again favoured. It's the same old story for Imami East Bengal. It's also has to do a lot with the heart that they're showing so far, Andy. Early change now coming in for the Indian Air Force football team. Jersey number 5, Arshpreet Singh is coming in for Mohammad Danish. When you talk about those long balls that are put in by Indian Air Force, and the heart and the desire they show to get that ball seems to be causing lots of problems for the Imami East Bengal Football Club team.
Yeah, Danish, I don't know if maybe he picked up an injury clearly. I don't think it would be a tactical move this early on. He was obviously on the yellow card as well for the rash challenge. But like we've said, opportunity knocks for another player to come in. Arash straight away, probably slips straight into that midfielder role. Unless he goes into the back line and they try and change formation. But I suggest they'll stick with what's working for them so far.
Stick to what's working now. Here's David Lalan Sangha. Another opportunity. Takes a touch too many. He's got players for company now. Lots of players coming in. Takes another shot. Inches wide yet again from getting that first goal for the red and golds.
Yeah, you can see desperately trying to get some instructions on to maybe a change of shape and a change of formation, but they weren't set, they weren't organised at all, and there were just far too many gaps and holes through the central area. Great little hold-up play, just being able to dive David in there, and then unfortunately just not being able to get the finish away. But the opportunities, we said they were going to have to brace themselves for this final 15-minute onslaught, and he's certainly living up to that.
One just gets the feeling that you get their first goal, the red and golds, it could open floodgates for them in this game. But the Indian Air Force are looking like a confident bunch in these last 5-7 minutes. Here they are on the attack yet again from the right flank. Saurav Sadhukan again in the mix, jersey number 15. He's been causing all sorts of problems up front for the red and golds. There you go. Get the ball in again. Jackson Singh now does clearing up duties. Narim Mahesh finds David Lalinsanga. On to Shovik Chakravarti. He has space out wide. He has a player for company. Changes direction. Two players ahead of them. Back to Saul Crespo. Keeping the ball well is Emami East Bengal, as you'd expect. For a team with that much pedigree and that much talent in them. Here's Mehdi Talal. Yet again disappointing. But this time, it seems to have come a deflection of an Indian Air Force player and a corner coming in for the red and gold.
Be the fifth corner now. They've got to make some inroads into this deficit so far. For all the possession, all the territory, the chances that they're creating, it's got to be the final third work. That's got to be the most frustrating thing for them at the moment. Looks like a change of shape. Looks like Aresh has gone into the back line as well, whether they've gone to a back five. We'll keep an eye on that.
Corner put in. Clear over there. No one there for company. Had an open goal to take for. Is calling for a handball. Referee says nothing doing. Play goes on. Another chance for Mehdi Talal to put the ball in. Disappointing. Met by the defender on the first post. Chance for the Indian Air Force to clear, and they clear it well. Now, what can the Air Force team do? Saurav Sadhukan, he's seen much of the ball with the Air Force team moving in front. He's asking for that handball. Referee was in a prime position to see that, so no one was really blocking his view. We'll have to take a look at that replay yet again. Did it come off the hand of one of the Indian Air Force team football defenders? On to Zoltan Puya. As acres of space gets past one player. Finds David Lalinsanga. Gets another shot going in. Gets another deflection. Another body on the line. And another corner for Emami East Bengal.
Yeah, we've seen now the last two corners they've been able to get a man free and get a clear sight at goal. They've really got to make the most of these opportunities coming up to the half-time break. Indian Air Force have got to dig in, they've got to try and get tight to the men, they've got to recover quick.
Alchalunga! Probably the chance of the match for Emami East Bengal. Had acres of space, had the time to take that shot, had the time